All right, so we are getting back together after taking a momentary break so that
Cisco could give me a hamburger.
Right, so that hamburgers could be given and turned into raccoons. All right,
and we could all speak German.
Right. Well, I don't know why we're speaking German, but
as we assume the locus of all knowledge.
I imagine German is in the locus of all knowledge. Now, the group is making their way towards the Pristine Silver Chimes, heading through the city. You guys will notice that there are actually a lot of guards in this city. A couple of you have experience with bigger cities, and this city seems to be very heavily patrolled.
Why will you not keep that on your hand?
Yeah.
So that everybody in the podcast knows, our game master just dropped his wedding ring under a table in front of his wife. Just so you all know.
And that is the sound of zero fucks being given.
You do this with your hand.
So,
scratch it across my back, right between my shoulder blades.
I believe that.
3 inches.
I believe
Katrina,
that
can
is
you do this for me?
called second base.
So,
No, that would
moving
be if
along,
I asked him to do it between my
you notice that there are a lot of guards on this, like in this general area. Although the guards have a general look to them, all of them seem to be have long swords at their hips, halberds or spears. Have the same sort of generic chainmail, and a couple of them have like half plate on. You do notice that each one of them have those tabards, and a lot of the tabards have very specific symbols on them. And then occasionally there'll be people walking along that do not have a symbol, or that have an obvious mark where their symbol has been, changed. So there was a symbol of something, and then it's been removed or it's modified to make it to where you can't really tell what it used to be.
So we're looking for shovels.
You see basically all kinds of people. You see one or two of the guards with the shovels.
The shovel sent us.
And as you guys head through, you see basically everyone's closing up shop, getting everything ready for the night. Make it to the chimes, and the chimes are very easy to find. Right on the edge of the drag, right where Code Navala said it would be. There is a broad patio that is full of chairs, and there's a couple little stands and that sort of thing. You see that there's a lot of people gathered. Some of them are eating, some of them are just sitting, chilling, gathered around here. And the chimes, the building and the patio itself, takes up the entire space between the top tier of the city and the second tier of the city. Most of the things you go along, it'll be buildings on either side, but hasn't been that many things that take the entire avenue, and this one does. As you guys get closer, you see that there are several people performing outside, and more specifically, you see there is something that Hiwi would notice. There's a large group of children that are gathered around a specific stand, while a bard who's using an instrument,
spoken word,
who's telling a children's story. You see there's several of the adults of the children are kind of standing back a little bit and sitting at the tables around this area while a story is being told.
Is the story remotely entertaining?
Hiwi begins
the
to move
children
towards
look
it
completely enraptured.
He begins to move towards it because
the adults
there are
look like
children.
they're enjoying talking to each other during the story.
Is the story about Greg or a side character?
As you guys approach, it does not appear to be about Greg or a side character in Greg's story. However, one of you, Healy,
There's no other categories.
it's not the main story, or it's not the legend of.
No, every story is about Greg or a side character.
It's about a side character, though.
Okay.
No, there was this one time where a fire elemental was killed with fire.
In
And
Bandcamp?
that story is a wonderful story that is
And
worth
not
telling.
good for children.
So, Hiwi recognizes the bard who's telling the story.
Okay,
as
it
you
gives
guys
Healy even more reason to approach the children. Like she needed a reason.
Right there.
Okay. My character's of course up on the platform, and he will be talking to the children, and he's like, and this is the story of the little Earth Mother and the mighty Quay, her great tree companion. I look at my tree.
Yeah, you guys hear that the story that's being told is very obviously actually about Hiwi.
Yes.
Now this
little Earth Mother.
We're behind like all the children with this giant tree.
This little Earth Mother looked like a Saul, but she wasn't like all the other Saul. She was dressed in all the colors of the jungle birds and all the scales of the little water fish. And she always had with her all the good little children of the
Oh, I got
Hylar.
this story.
It's like, I don't remember this story either.
So, well, I don't have too big of an issue with you. Go ahead.
Prestidigitation or light.
Mhm.
I'd like to make a little halo.
It's just a story.
If he's doing
Yeah.
something to catch attention, since I know
Or
the
it's just
kids are
one of them
looking at
horror
me,
stories.
I will
That's
see.
one of the other stories.
Yes.
Well, I
That was
feel
not
like-
good for
And
children.
then I will
That was
happily
that's
take
what
the
I'm seeing.
story.
Like,
And
No,
then
I know him.
Yeah.
And she's telling you, I know him.
Chuckus will just take a seat with the children.
and since you
Several of the children look over towards you, and you notice that some of the children.
Lose their shit.
No, they don't. They don't seem to react very much. Guards are a common enough sight in the city that none of them are like, oh, but like they're noticing that it is a little unusual. So
don't mind him. That's my brother.
a couple of the kids look up at you and go, and go back to listening to the story.
Hold on.
So yeah, you guys sit and listen to the story. Do you change the story when they come up, or
no, well, if he prestidigitates a spotlight onto Huey,
yeah?
I won't change the story, but I will sort of make a motion towards the back, and
The children turn around and they feel like they're getting like this is part of the show,
yeah.
and they start clapping and
He was
And-
standing
ready to
there
get
with
rid of
and I'll continue telling the story. In the Hylar, she lived in the Hylar in a city on an island. Yes.
Well, normally I would be kind of
Yeah.
okay as long as we can get everyone involved in the story. We take a lot of time on it.
Yeah.
But just since if it's going to be just you
But
talking,
that's
you're just
kind of-
talking about it. So
Yeah,
just
that's kind of his opening.
give us the gist.
The gist
the
of
story.
it is that he's pretty much he describes her, and then actually what he does is he describes Quay as this great giant mighty oak tree that all the good little kids kind of shelter under and get taken care of by this little Earth Mother, and all the naughty children and all the naughty children.
Sure, stories growing to tell it.
It seems
trees.
legit.
All the little naughty children, if they're bad, they get punished by this great mighty oak tree, like little pricks from their thorns and whatnot, and that that she'll take care
I
of
think
any.
it wasn't a willow.
Yes, that she takes care of all the children, and that she's always very kind to them, and that she heals any hurts that they might have.
So
Yeah.
the story continues on, and the children pay attention.
Sounds generally like
As the night starts to fall, and as things start to get ready for the evening meal and the revelries of people getting off of work and finally getting a chance to relax, you see a lot of the children start to get moved away from the pedestal as the story ends. So the children are making their way back to their parents, and their parents are taking them home to do their own little thing. And now you guys are around.
Huey
Huey.
will wave to several
Yeah.
little kids as they wander by, and she'll approach.
That friend of yours.
Yes. And once all the kids are being dispersed, I will happily hop off the stage and.
Hey, Luke.
Huey, darling, how have you been? And of course, hugging.
Yeah, I was gonna say Huey's actually kind of affectionate.
I haven't seen you in a whole age, girl.
Yeah, well, I've been doing a lot of traveling. I came out of the Hylar finally.
Yeah, I can tell you came to Canaan, and you seem to have acquired a rather eclectic mix of
This is
companions.
Jack. Jack
How'd you get
Smith.
Hello.
Smith.
Good evening, Mr. Smith.
This is Chunkus.
No, crack no.
Mr. of Cragnickel.
This is Amulet
Hi.
and Toy.
That was a nice story.
I'm glad you liked it,
This
darling.
is Toy.
She's a very young
Toy,
sprite.
toy dances a jig.
This is-
something wrong with Toy?
She's very young. This is
No,
Van.
no, not the little sprite.
Oh.
That's not a real anything, is it? It's literally a toy.
It's a real
right?
magical construct.
It's a magical.
Okay, good.
Just pay
This
no
is
attention
Vin.
to the giant tax strapped to its
This is
back and try
Vin
not
and
to think about
Iris.
it.
I'm assuming the sprite is Vin and the young
Yeah.
lady is Iris.
Yeah.
A pleasure to meet you both.
So what are you doing tonight?
actually, I'm quite happily settling for a bit. I was traveling, and well, you were there when I left, so I mean, I
I
headed
went
up
the
here.
other way.
Yeah, did you now? Did you go to the Second Kingdom, meet my mama like I told you?
No, I ended up bypassing it with Suko.
I will let you guys know
Yeah.
that, or let you specifically know, Nav is still actually here. After the riverboat was bought,
Mhm.
he's trying to get a place in the city, but since he hasn't found one yet, he's just chilling at the inn. So
Okay.
he's going to be, now that it's dark, he's going to actually come out in the patio and sit and chill if you wanted to talk to him or introduce him.
Oh,
Now, this version of Hiwi knows Nav or does not know Nav?
Since she was in Hifa, if he went through Hifa, she probably knows.
Okay,
knows
so
it.
I didn't know if you specifically took Nav's boat to the Second Kingdom when you left the Sukos.
Well, she probably. It depends on how long afterwards, because I couldn't remember how long you said Luke had been gone. So
Luke had been gone, what, about a year and a half? Yeah, he was gone for about a. He was. Yeah, because he had about a year. Yeah, he was gone for about a year and a half. He didn't stay in Canine long before he traveled further north.
You didn't stay in the Second Kingdom before you went north.
No, he stayed
Oh,
in
that's right,
Hifa
right.
for a time, and then he went
Right,
to
right.
Canine, and then he went.
Right.
North
So it's
and then
yeah,
came
it's been not quite 2 years
okay.
since you saw, because
Okay.
you went
Yeah,
up
she
to Hifa
probably-
almost immediately after that.
She probably would have, since she would have known Nav fairly well.
Mhm.
He's probably the one that asked her to help when he
Right.
needed help going out to the Second Kingdom.
So you guys would both know Nav if he's.
Oh, you know,
What's up?
Are
man.
you going to the thing tomorrow?
Well, he's staying right here at the Chimes too.
ice skating
Oh.
thing.
That's
I don't
awesome.
want
Yeah, in fact, he should be out here
gonna drive
mingling
it up?
soon enough.
Huh?
The
You
sun's
gonna
down.
drive me though?
How's the river
to. Have
going?
to.
Oh, he sold it actually. Sold it to a friend of mine.
Nav's not doing riverboat anymore?
No, he's sold it to a friend of mine named Carthen. Yeah, he apparently critters in the river is getting a bit uppity, so he decided
Yeah, they
to
are.
move on.
So as you guys are standing around talking, you will see
Yeah.
Nav kind of come out.
And just for everyone's, just in case, he speaks entirely differently just talking to people than he did when he was up there telling his story.
He has more
He
of an accent when
he actually has an accent when he talks to people, but when he's being a bard pretty much and telling stories or singing, that accent goes away.
He goes all perfect dictation,
Yes.
Shakespearean.
Elocution.
Elocution.
Yeah.
The more I hear from people what's come out of the Highlard, the less I want to go visit.
Oh, there ain't nothing wrong with the Highland.
Isn't that
So-
where we're going?
As you guys have a bunch
Yes,
of
we're
Yeah.
going to pass through there, yeah.
sitting around talking,
But we're
basically
going
catching up on the
to say something
times.
specifically
Um,
very nasty.
Oh, I got myself a new bow.
Oh,
So as you guys are
I'll have
catching
to
up on
show
the
it to you
times,
sometime.
you have the basically all the staff from the Chimes come out and start cleaning the tables, getting everything reset up, moving around, getting extra chairs and whatnot for the different fleets. And you have one of the waitresses come up to you and say, "Oh, welcome to the Chimes. Can I get you anything?" And sees that you're standing there, and says, "Oh, can I get anything for your friends?"
Rooms.
um,
We need rooms.
Well, that's on them, but you know, if they want anything to eat or drink right now, I'll be more than happy to share a bit of the wealth around.
She goes, "Oh, of course. I apologize. Our rooms for Guargs are going to be slightly different. You're going to have to be away from the others. The inn," she kind of looks over towards it, and you can see the inn is 4 stories, but the 4 stories were obviously built for people about human size, so it's going to be very small on you if you're in there. And she says she motions over towards the little alley on the side and says, "We've actually built an own little section with just a couple of rooms at the back of the inn for Guargs, but it might be uncomfortable if you head through the main entrance."
Did they just ask Chunk to use the back door instead of the front one?
No, I think it's more of they're trying to accommodate him to the best of their ability. Huey was trying to be diplomatic for this one.
I heard back of the inn.
No. See,
Even from here, you can see that the inn actually has there's not that many tables that are set out here in the patio. The inn has inside of it a lot of patios everywhere, and as people are kind of weaving through the area, you can see it would actually be fairly difficult for you to walk through the inn without stepping on chairs and tables and whatnot.
It's fairly tightly packed.
but she says that our guard rooms are well used and they're very well furnished. So it will not be a problem to accommodate you. I just wanted to let you know, in case that would be an issue.
Yeah, even for us normal folk, it's all asses and elbows in there.
I'll take a room. I'll take one of the big rooms then.
So she asks for what
I'll take one of the normal size rooms then.
you want one of the normal size rooms or the
Yeah,
guard
it's
size
normal, like this tall.
Guard rooms.
He'd take
Normal
one
room.
out of
Because people use small rooms.
Code Navala is
You all take the small ones. I'll take a normal size room.
We was told that we should mention that
We're with Code Navala.
Code Navala
oh
is
of
the one
course.
what sent us.
Basically, she at first said basically it's gonna be like a silver a night, and then when you said it was Code Navala, it's a silver for 2 nights, so half price. If you're here on Code Navala, but she needs to get your names if you're associated with one of the houses.
I'm thinking it's Smith, and Smith.
My name's Jack Smith. This is the party of Smith. This is my brother Chunk.
So
My sister Hiwi.
Your mother
Me
must be
Uncle
a
Ven.
beautiful woman.
And his daughter Amulet.
Your brothers.
she puts on a big grin. This waitress is probably somewhere in the area of 19 or 20. Human, blonde hair. They're taking more notice of you now. So she smiles and explains where your rooms will be.
And then explains where hers is.
She doesn't quite go that far, but as she walks and kind of like sachets her way back in after getting orders for people.
I'm gonna grab her, and since she works there, I assume I probably know
Her and her
her.
twin sister work there, yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna grab her and go. Are you gonna tell your sister about him? And should I tell him where you're sleeping
Your
tonight?
kind of person. You know.
Pass my self-imposed willpower check.
Yeah.
So-
I ask her 2 questions. Does she want her sister to know about him? And should I tell him where she sleeps tonight?
She kind of like shrugs and says, "Well, that's up to her," and then kind of heads away from you and goes into the inn.
She did not answer my second question. And then I'm gonna turn to him and go, you know, she's got a twin sister.
That's another check.
And I do know
And the
where room
DC
is.
just went up.
You have a twin sister?
And I know where the room
Oh,
is.
the one was rise to hide him from me.
Oh,
They're
my
very-
sisters work differently.
They're very good about sharing, too.
Putting that voice on it really changed the context of
As she goes back into the inn and so comes back out, you guys kind of get tables out, and she comes back out with her sister. They are very similar. They're obviously about the same age, but they're not by any stretch identical.
They're twins, so they are the same age.
Unless they're Irish twins, and then they're still the same age.
So
Just 9 months different.
Right, food for the family. Off with you then.
they bring plates of spiced fish and fruits. Lots of fruits and veggies for him.
Debo.
Do you have any screech? I saw loads of orchards coming up through here.
And goes, and she says, let me get you a menu, and comes back with a booklet of alcohol. It's 7 or 8 pages long, with descriptions, 1 sentence descriptions of a bunch of different types.
I would
What says
certainly
it?
suggest
Yes.
anything that the house makes quite well.
Basically, the Chimes prides itself, and you can see from the little booklet, it gives a little explanation of everything that comes out to and from the continent goes through the locks. Everything that goes through the locks takes a pit stop at the Chimes. So
Peculiar.
basically, there's lots of there's sections for where different alcohols are from. So there's one whole page of like Horian alcohols, one whole page of.
Here's your 25. Here's your 25. Here's your 25. Here's your 25.
Here you go, Jack.
Do I get 25?
I don't eat
No,
it.
I didn't
I
get
got
you
it.
any time on it.
It's
I don't
all right,
eat it.
darling. And
Toy doesn't eat
Now-
it either.
Again, for knowledge of kind of vaguely how money works in the world, 5 gold in this world is about equivalent to a year's salary for
So I just handed
So you just got 5 years worth of salary.
for the lowest. So like the waitresses will earn a little bit more than that, but that's still a very good thing. You
So
know,
we're going to
a-
throw up a load of
someone who is considered a what we would consider middle class. So like the guy who runs the guard station at the entrance of the city, his take home is supposedly somewhere near 25 to 30 gold a year.
So you
So,
gave him
so
about.
you gave him about 2 weeks worth of pay.
Right.
When you handed him that one.
So
So, you know.
while she's handing out their 25
Most
gold
most
a pop,
things in the city,
Well,
most
it's in
minor
little
things
yeah,
are
well,
in silver. So
while she's handing out
chips.
the money to all of them, I'm gonna grab, if one of the sisters is still there, and hand her like 3 gold and tell her that none of them need an empty cup.
What I would like
Whatever
is
they
this
want.
page in tiny cups, so I can decide what I am drinking until I leave this place. This
Why not?
wonderful, wonderful place.
Actually, if they're all from different areas, I'm gonna also suggest
Garros
ones
can-
I've drunk, because I've been here long enough to work my way through all
Garros
of
can
them.
carry a barrel, right?
you can make
So-
Maybe
Uh,
2? They could.
I can walk.
as you guys are finishing up the meal
I know a
and
good place to
talking,
buy an
basically
ox
getting
and a car.
introduced, Luke, are you gonna basically tell about your stuff? And I imagine you guys will have a
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, I
about
mean we'll talk and
What's
whatnot.
going on?
Who the fuck are you?
I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, nobody really asked who I was.
No,
she
no.
called-
She
Now
did
that we
call
kind
me
of settled
Luke.
down.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did. She did
Well,
introduce him as Luke, but
well-
that's about it.
as this lovely lady here done said, my name is Luke, and I am from the Second Kingdom.
He's a
But-
teller of tales.
Yes, I'm a tailor of tales and an accomplished flautist.
Can
Hey, who?
you give a physical description?
Yeah, he's about 23. He's young looking.
Human?
Human.
Yeah, he's human. He's 6 foot, so I mean he's not
Too
not too tall. He's a good weight. He's not.
Average, basically.
Yeah. Pretty much right now he's dressed down. He's just wearing boots and pants, like browns and grays. He's not dressed
Nicely.
like he normally would be when, he's looking to make a good bit of money. Which, is quite similar to Huey, but with a little less color blindness. Which is bright colors and, what was that? Never mind.
You don't know.
Bright colors, and actually the only thing he is wearing that can give you even a hint to that kind of how he tends to normally dress, other than he's in nice clothing. It's not by any means cheap looking crap. He's dressed very nicely. He's got a hat that he always wears that has several feathers, and they're big, like tropical bird feathers.
You guys will also know that.
And he's wearing gloves.
Do you have your weapon on you right now, or no?
No.
Okay.
Because it's going to be peacebound anyway.
Well, the weapon will be peacebound, but you also see that his aura is peacebound as well. So
Yeah.
obviously
He's
is
some
recognized
kind of
as
caster.
some sort of caster.
Actually, he does
above
have a
magician's level.
visible weapon. There is the obvious handle of a dagger sticking out of his boot.
Okay.
Which, considering he's got his feet up on the table, you can see.
Very finely crafted pommel.
Alright.
etc.
As you guys are kind of introducing each other, explaining why you're in here, all that sort of stuff, you guys can do as much of this in character as you would like. For the interest of trying to get through everything, if you guys want to summarize, that's fine too. But I will say that the sisters bring out a huge wooden tray that has tiny little wooden cups, basically half shot glasses full of everything. And there are, you can see that the tray has notches in it with numbers next to the notches. And she directs you
They're
to
practiced in this.
she directs you to the thing, and it basically says each one of the notches and the numbers correspond to the...
An item in the menu.
Right. So basically this is
This is the
the
sampler.
sampler tray. That this is not something that is entirely unheard of for them to do.
Nope.
I'd like 2 more of these.
You flip the page. And this one?
Yeah, I'll just pick up the menu.
Actually, I'll just lean back and go down.
Yes.
When they're done with this tray, bring out the next page. And just keep it coming until they're done
Alright,
with the page.
so...
I like apples.
You guys set it here and chat, so go ahead.
Yeah.
Is there anything you needed to...
Did Nav come out, or?
Nav came out. He's sitting all the way on the far end of the patio.
Who's now?
Do you want me
he
to
is-
get his attention?
He is closest to the next tier and to the water. So he's basically as far away from the inn as you can be and still be on the patio.
Okay. Huey will make it a point to get up and actually cross the patio to go talk to him for a moment.
Okay.
Since she does know him,
Tell him he don't need to be a stranger. He's more than welcome to come over.
Okay.
Drinks
Who's
is on the
that?
house. That's a friend of mine and a friend of Huey's.
Okay, so go over.
He
You
used to
see
be piloting the boat, but he ain't captain it no
Nav
more.
is sitting there drinking. You can see the stuff that he is drinking. It's a fairly broad, short tankard, and as he kind of like swirls it around and takes a drink, it's very, very thick. Like
I'll take one.
it almost
Syrup?
looks like syrup. Yeah. And you can recognize the smell of amphibite liquor from
I was
a
going to
good
say.
distance. This isn't even amphibite beer. This is
I was gonna
amphibite
say,
liquor.
in the back
Gentlemen,
of Huey's
I
head,
assure you, if
love
you
me,
want
I
to
know what the
monitor,
narca
all you gotta
smells
do is
like,
ask.
and I'm as
Drinks
far
is
from the
covered
narca
in
as I
that.
could get without being on another continent.
I think I covered the
Do you
cavity.
know how long I've been living
He sees
here?
you come up and says, "Oh,
I done
Huey."
had all of these.
He kind of like looks
That's
around and
mine.
notices that there's no other chair.
Oh,
in
is
there
this
without-
your? Is this your
He's like,
house?
I can get a chair brought up for you if you're interested.
Oh, I
I was
know what
going
that
to
smells.
invite you over to sit with my
Right.
friends and I if you want. She gestures over to Luke and the table, and
He goes, "Oh,
I'll just.
you
take
know,
a bigger
you by
one of this
yourself.
If the gods
I
had blessed you
understand.
with an entirely different
No,
gender,
it's-
I do
it's
believe I
fine.
can tell you where
I
mine
had
was.
I will drink to that man.
had an awkward day."
In fact,
He kind of walks
I
over.
might
and
do it
he's-
anyway.
You can see that he you guys have noticed this is something that I do need. I love the play that you guys are doing, but when you guys see Nog started to walk up,
Oh, he's coming this way.
opportunity.
he's gonna come walk up. I would say that you've seen this around the city several times. Even people that aren't wearing the tabards typically have house symbols. Lots of them tend to be metal clips somewhere on their body, depending on the person. The clips can be, simple brass. Some of them are in much nicer metals. Some of them are, elaborate clothing with, thread of gold. There's all different ranks and files. But most people who are walking around the city, you would say at least 50% of them have a house symbol that's displayed somewhere on their person fairly prominently.
Not the.
Nob it also has a house symbol, and his are actually markings that are sewn into the shoulders of his coat. It's not cold, but you guys are on the ocean. There's a cold breeze coming in. So he has a light jacket on that has markings of it, and you can see both of the markings on his shoulders they've been altered to the point where it's difficult to tell what the markings are, but you can still sort of see a symbol of a sword pointed downwards in a scabbard, and then over across of it is a scythe with a grape on either side of the symbol. You've got a sword in a sheath, a scythe that crosses it, and you see grapes on either side.
Has she seen seen him wear the symbol before? So
Yes, you've seen the symbol before. You've seen the symbol before. It's actually one of the houses in the city.
Yeah.
But the last time you saw him wearing the jacket, the symbol was not altered.
I told you sold the boat.
Obfuscated is the word I've been looking for this entire session.
She's
There we
like, what happened? What happened with your
Is
family?
that trash?
Yes.
He says, as he kind of comes up,
I suck.
can I get a streetwise from you? This will be DC. Hang on.
32.
Because Huey kind of.
Well, but he is from the city, so he gets a different DC than
Oh,
you do.
mine. Yeah.
Okay, so
I don't-
DC 17. It's not going to
19.
go.
You got it.
I did it.
Oh,
And no, it's not a
Made it,
19.
but-
It's an 18, but I still got it.
It's really out of character for him to know anything about this.
I hit a 5.
No, I've got a 13 and I rolled a 5.
Yeah. So,
Weird.
the symbol on
Oh,
his
it's on train. Okay.
the symbol on his shoulder is House Kalenta.
Mhm.
It's one of the medium rank houses in the city, and there's been a lot of talk on the streets and a lot of talk in the tavern that House Kalenta has been dissolved, and basically all of their holdings and everything that holds the house together has been broken apart and divvied up amongst the other larger houses.
But he still wears the old. The old.
Well, no,
He's-
he's no longer
this
part
is-
of the house. So
This has
they,
happened very recently, like within the past month or so.
I haven't even had a chance to throw out my symbol.
So, He has a symbol on each of his arms.
I would definitely. My character Luke would definitely not actually be wearing a symbol, but if he needs to make one happen, he's probably got several of them.
Fair enough.
Maybe even all of them.
You guys will notice, even sitting talking in a little bit, there's about a dozen waitresses that are doing different things of a bunch of different races. The twins are the only two humans, and they're all kind of weaving through the crowd, getting different stuff out. But you notice every time one of the people that works at the inn goes in and out of the actual inn proper, there is a statue that is making up, I forget the word for it, but there's a column that is a statue. The word is stone, and I'm trying to remember the word is, but it's not coming to me. Anyways.
It should be,
regardless,
yeah.
pillar, there's a statue, and
Plinth.
and there is a carved tabard on the statue of a giant W, and as they walk past, each of them will kind of put their fingers to their lips, touch the W, and then keep walking through. It's something that all of them seem to. Even the waitresses will put stuff down on the little table next to it to do it very quickly, and the amount of practice motion they have, it looks like this is something that's
Second nature.
second nature. They just do it all the time. So Nav comes up, and Nav is an amphibite. He's fairly tall for an amphibite, and he's very, very slender. He is...
That's with the frog teeth, yeah?
Yes, amphibites are tall. He is obviously a toad amphibite, and he has the light jacket on, and then he has the colors and the markings of being someone that's definitely in the river trade. It looks like everything he's wearing is probably waterproof.
Yeah, and I'll greet him and ask him what his poison is because it's going to be on the house.
So he brought his tankard with him.
I already took care of all that.
Yeah, he brought his tankard with him, and you can see that there's something very dark and awkward in that tankard.
Oh, nice. By the
You've
way,
actually not had it.
this gentleman Jack here has
Amphibite liquor.
some fine distilled.
Probably melt your tongue.
Yeah, you probably can't
Yeah,
handle
this
none of
is
this.
when he
Well, no,
says
well, he
essence
could
of
probably-
Narca. That's what he's drinking.
Yeah, it's
That is true essence of Narca.
So would it kill me?
Your character would know that it would effectively be poison for you. It's basically too close to drinking rubbing alcohol.
Not immediately. Is the
Alcohol itself is
a
poison. So
It is
It
more
is
than
like
your
drinking-
body can handle on a normal basis.
It
Here's
is like
the thing
drinking
about
motor oil.
Here's the
You
thing
can
about
do
that.
it. It's just not something you might want to do.
Here's the
But I
thing
mean-
about that drink there, Jack. If you took it and put it in your flask, and then you took a drink of water and a tiny sip of it, and switched it around, then you could drink it.
I don't need to be able to see.
No, but you do need to be able to live. I don't believe anybody has
So
figured
Nav
out how to
comes
bring
up
people back from the dead.
and gets himself seated at the table.
How you been since, yesterday?
Iris goes around the table behind Jack.
I like her. She's spunky.
What?
Goes back around.
Toy comes up
I
behind
think
Jack.
you've been told.
I
You
like
good,
her too.
Master?
I like her good too. She's spunky as well.
For the people at home on the podcast, Toy is a marionette that is carved in the likeness of Iris.
Yeah.
That has a couple modifications. Iris is actually a 12-year-old girl, so there is
Why isn't she 13?
she's 13 now.
Yeah, she
So-
just turned 13.
There's a 13-year-old human girl and a very lifelike carving of a 13-year-old human girl, with a couple extra symbols and miscellaneous extras added on.
I believe little
And
just
the
brother.
rest nails.
I believe little brother that
So
you've just been.
Nav goes, well, I was hoping to find out that the disillusion of my house had been greatly exaggerated, but times change.
Are you looking into another house, or are you looking to remain free of houses?
Your friend definitely
Human
gave me
relations
enough
are
to
so
live a
complicated.
life of plenty, so I'm debating whether I want to spend the rest of my days here or head back to somewhere. He kind of swishes his tankard around a little bit. more amphibite friendly. It takes a drink.
I've been to the Narca recently. Very amphibite friendly. But not very Saul friendly. Although there's a crazy Saul down there. She's wacko.
Crazy Saul. Now this is a story sounds like
He goes,
this story sounds like a bard needs to hear.
He's like,
She is
I'm
insane.
actually from far up north. I've always wanted to see the Narca down to the south, but just never got around to it.
If you ever go down there
As good
and
a time
you
as
go
any.
down to the east of Agelu,
Well,
there's
well,
an
then
area
consider
where there's an
everything.
oak forest. It's actually kind of interesting. Also an old Temple of Redwood down there.
Oak
I don't know-
forest in
I
the
don't know if
Narca?
it's still there anymore, but it might be.
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
There's some Narca there too.
Yeah,
There's
a bit of
an
Narca.
oak forest?
That's
in
the
the
part
Narca?
that I'm looking for.
Yeah, the Oak Grove was a thing that happened.
It's-
Oh,
there's-
you guys got plenty of stories to tell.
There used to be a hospital there.
It's a Temple of
It
Redwood.
was a It was a very, very odd-looking purification ritual.
So Luke,
It
I'll tell
seemed
you
like-
someday about the day
wow.
that we broke the hospital.
I ain't proud of that.
Wait,
All right,
you
like-
broke a hospital? You're a healer and you
Not
broke
the
a
whole hospital.
No, just
No, just
There was this magic circle and it looked like it was evil and it turned out that it weren't. And we feel really bad about it and that's why we have this poison elemental in that jar.
poison elemental in the
Right.
jar.
I was gonna say
so
there's a
there's
big
another
bag.
story.
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna be hanging around with y'all folks a long time.
I've gotten lots of stories since we last
So-
met.
You
Have
guys
gotten
can
any new
exchange
songs?
stories,
Yeah,
talk about
we
different
should-
things.
Yeah.
I
I pull
they'll
a
continue
flute
bringing drinks.
from